think that risk awareness is basically just embedding a culture of risks and its related controls in an organization. And that's where we stopped last week, talking about different ways, different roles of directors in terms of embedding risks into an organization. I told you that this is a life and direct exam question, right? It's all about reporting structure, disclosing risk-related information. Bad news should always be shared. There must be openness and transparency. If you encourage people to share risk-related information, you cannot also be doing blame culture. And we said the last one is that the attitude that risk should always occur. Put it in your mind of your employees, right? Okay. So that was where we stopped last week. So in today's class, we'll be moving on to controlling risks. Risk management has four things in it. Risk management, there are four elements of risk management. Identification, what's the next one? Identification, assessment, response, monitoring, and control. Abby?
Yes,
Then for risk audits, what are the four that are there? What are the four risk audits? You see how, okay, I think your next, I can't hear you clearly. Hello?
We have can you hear me?
Yes.
We have control, assessment, and then is it
No,
measurement?
of risk audits. Risk audits that is performed by the risk auditor. The elements of risk audit is identification, assessments, review, and reports. But the elements of a risk management is identification, assessment, response, monitoring, and control. Okay? They are similar, but they are different. I think I said that last class as well. Please, it is not just to listen to class, it's not just to attend the class and clock in. Remembering the things that has been said is very, very important. This is not a calculation course. We're not solving figures, so you must be attentive. Okay, so we're going to move on. Just like I said, we just want to complete our risks, and depending on the energy in the room, we'll know if we just treat a few past questions on risks. So let's continue. Different approaches to controlling risks. I use a different color of highlight just so that we can know. Okay. So different approaches to controlling risks. Now we said no. Risk management methods are much more sophisticated in some industries than some others. For example, the financial services and banking industry has developed financial derivatives that can be used to manage financial risks. Approaches to management of business risks that are described in the following section. So now this one I've called it different ways to approach to risks. So people can tell you that what are the ways to respond to risks is still the same answer. What are the ways to respond to risks? Well, this one is what different approaches where management used to do what? Attend to business needs, business risks. Okay. So we have diversification of the risks, we have transferring the risks, we have sharing the risks, and we have hedging. So the first one is diversification. I'll read. Risks can be reduced through diversification. Diversification is also called spreading risks. The purpose of diversification is to invest in a range of different business activities and build up a portfolio of different business activities. Each individual business activity is risky, but some businesses might perform better than expected, just as some might perform worse than expected. Taking the entire portfolio of a different business risk, the good performance will offset the bad ones, and the portfolio might provide on an average expected returns. So diversification is just that normal quote that we know now. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Abi, spread your eggs such that anyhow you carry it, some of the eggs will shall reach the end point. You understand? That's just what it means. When it comes to businesses, they are saying that when they want to prioritize their business activities, they should spread it in such a way that even if some are unprofitable, some other ones will become profitable enough that it will overshadow or offset the badness, right, of the ones that became bad, the level of financial loss of the ones that became bad. It offsets it and it kind of gives the company at the end an expected returns. Please, I need you guys to confirm to me that I'm not speaking to myself. Do I have a class?
We can hear you.
Everybody can hear me, Abby?
Yes.
Everybody can. Okay, let me move on. Now, they moved on to talk about examples of diversification. So example of diversification is basically a company who wants to do two things that have different economic factors facing them. Maybe they want to do like crypto and agri. Now, crypto is readily based on conversion and what the market rates are selling, okay? But agri is based on other factors, climate, things like that. So because they have different kind of factors that are affecting them, what will now happen is that what some will perform badly, while some will perform higher than expected. This example I'm even giving is even directly is a different kind of diversification. They call this one edging. You get diversification is that you can even put everything in stock. Let me use stock as an example. So you know how GT is selling, Access is selling, FCMB is selling, Fidelity is selling. You understand? Now putting amounts in all these banks, hoping that one will sell, and even if one becomes a loss, right? The gain from the one you have bought, that is another bank, right, will offset any loss that will happen from buying another bank. You get that is basically diversification, and we do it every day. Let's talk about the second one, which is risk transfer. Okay, somebody can, in my class, somebody will read for us as they're reading, so another person can read. I've highlighted where you are reading, so just unmute and read. Please, you people, I beg you. I'm not feeling too well. I think you can even hear it from my voice, but this class is a commitment, so it has to be done. So please don't stress me, please. Risk transfer.
Risk
Risk
transfer.
transfer.
Okay. And just somebody can hold on, they'll read the next one, which is risk sharing. You get. Then we even have edging of risks. So there's enough. Thank you. So one person can read the risk transfer. That's who unmuted. Okay. Sorry, yes, Amechi. Okay. Can read the risk transfer for us first.
Okay. Risk transfer involves passing some or all of a risk onto someone else
Okay.
so that the other person has the exposure to the risks.
Okay.
A common example of risk transfer is insurance. By purchasing insurance, risks are transferred to the insurance company, which will pay for any losses covered by the insurance policy. Using insurance to manage risks is appropriate for risks where the potential losses are high, but the probability of a loss occurring is fairly low.
Okay. It's very low, but the probability of, yes, okay, thank you. So that's risk transfer. On that our table that we looked at now last week, let me scroll to that table. We looked at a table last week. Yes. We looked at the table last week that talked about how to react to certain risks. Now I'm looking for it. Okay, let me just continue. So we looked at the table last week that talked about how to respond to different types of risks. Thank you, Ike. So we said that when a probability is high, when the likelihood of the risks occurring is high and the impact is high, there are some certain things that we're supposed to do. Okay, so we'll talk about the fact that when the probability of a risk is low, but the impact of that risk, if it materializes, is high, what will happen is that they should transfer it. Okay, that is basically our TARA model. So let's use, for example, what happened in 2020. that whole burglary, theft, fire, that answers all of that. After then, as something like that happened in Nigeria again, no, right? So imagine companies that were now like insured against like burglary, theft, like auto shop, right, and all of that. Definitely, they are covered, right, for any amount of thefts like loss that they've incurred. That's because they've insured, they've pushed the responsibility of a risk materializing to the hand of another person. But now this is 4 years after. Maybe those insurance companies have even like outrageously increased their premiums, right? Because of that issue that happened. Even if they've been paying their premium since 2020 till now, as another incident occurred, no, okay? So that's usually the problem with risk transfer. People will just be paying premium, right? And sometimes the risks may not even materialize. Thank you very much, Amici. So we have risk sharing. I'll just read the first line so that we're not confused. Risk sharing involves collaborating with another person and sharing the risks jointly together. Okay? Somebody can continue.
Common methods of risk sharing in business are partnerships and joint ventures. In a joint venture, all the joint venture partners share in the investments, the management, the cost of the investments, the risk, and the rewards. Companies pursuing a strategy of developing their business in other countries might use joint ventures as a way of entering the market in a different country. For the global company, the joint venture partner will be a local business whose management have knowledge of the local market. For a local business, a joint venture with a foreign company reduces the financial risk and also improves the opportunities for expansion and growth.
Okay, thank you very much. So risk sharing is basically when when you don't want to bear the impact of a loss alone. Have you ever had money to buy something? Maybe you're buying that thing online, and you know that if this thing come, it may not even be good. So you tell somebody to that you people should buy it together. So if this thing comes, you people can share it. You understand? LAP, right? So that is basically risk sharing. And in the context of companies, this is just basically when businesses have a new initiative and then they come together to partner up. A lot of these companies that you see, right, they are like partners of other businesses. You'll be surprised that apart from this bank, Surface Bank that we know and we have, there's so many other like subset and things like that to banking. I know somebody that is in banking that does comes and PR. Okay. I know somebody that is in banking that does like tech, right? So you can say that's what these businesses also collaborate with other forms of businesses so that they can gain money in other areas. GT Bank recently acquired like some form of companies that are not like bank. Okay. So that is them just basically diversifying all the kind of risks that they can face from their business. Okay. So let's go to edging. What does it mean to edge edge a risk? From the name, what do you think it will mean? It should be to edge. When I think about edge, literal meaning, I'll think about guiding. Abby, yeah, guiding. So what does it mean to edge risks? Let's see. Are we correct from our literal meaning? The screen is on. Can read.
The term edging.
Okay.
The term aging risk is used extensively in the financial market, and aging is commonly associated with the management of financial risk, such as currency risk. Aging risk means creating a position, that is, making a transaction that offsets an exposure to another risk. For example, if a company has an exposure to currency risk and will lose money if the US dollar falls in value against the euro, a hedge can be created whereby the company will make a profit if the US dollar falls in value against the euro. The loss on the original risk exposure will be offset by a gains on the hedge position. Risk can be hedged with a variety of derivative instruments such as futures, options, and swaps.
Thank you very much. So edging is basically is used in the markets. This is in financial markets. When we're talking about risks, I was telling you about financial risks, okay? Derivatives. Now we're saying that and now I've read that it's currently associated with the value of a currency. So most of the time, companies have to tie money down. And because they don't want to tie money down, they would rather hedge it against a particular commodity, right? Either they look for more stable currencies to put their money in or use it to acquire some things, right? They can do like an options. Options are like now maybe the shares of Apple is $89 today, which is a lie, right? So they can now say, okay, Apple wants to give you this $2 million, right? Such that when we come in 2027, we want to be able to buy your shares for the current price that it is today. Do you understand? So that's like an edge. They're edging their money against the future increase of the value of shares of that company. Okay. Then they now also said that risks can be hedged with a variety of derivatives that be such as futures, options, and swap. I've already explained options. Futures are like hedging it against future properties. Sorry. Hedging it against future properties that like the company may have. Okay. That is hedging. Now we have some terminologies that we want to explain. When you're talking about your Tyra model, I told you about T being what? Tolerate it, Abby, right? Then A means avoid it, arrow means reduce it, then the last A means to do what? To accept the risks, okay? So now let's read some terminologies. The first one is risk avoidance. So if you read from risk avoidance, you read from risk avoidance to the end of the page. I'm listening.
Risk avoidance means not having any exposure. Or do you want me to start from measures to control?
Yes, please.
Okay. Measures to control risk through diversification, risk transfer, risk sharing, and hedging risk can help to reduce the risks. Similarly, internal controls can reduce risks, prevent problems from happening, or identify them when they occur. An entity needs to develop a strategy towards this risk. The basic choice is between risk avoidance and risk retention. Now, risk avoidance. Risk avoidance means not having any exposure to a risk. A business risk can only be avoided by not investing in the business. Risk avoidance, therefore, means staying out of a business or leaving a business and pulling out of the markets. Secondly, risk retention. This means accepting the risk in the expectation of making a return. When risks are retained, they should be managed to ensure that unnecessary risks are not taken and that the total exposure to the risk is contained within acceptable limits. Risk appetite and risk retention. The choice between avoiding risk and accepting risk depends on risk appetite. Risk appetite is the amount of risk that an entity is willing to accept by investing in the business activities. You need to scroll up, please. Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Mm.
I think it's our
Again,
network.
is anyone there?
it's our network.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
Okay, is it better now? Can you hear me? Sorry, I lost you for a bit. Um, let me leave and join back again. Can you hear me?
We can hear
Yes,
you.
yes,
I can hear you
it's
now.
available.
Okay, okay, sorry, I was speaking. When did you stop hearing me?
I stopped at
It was feeding.
risk appetite and I couldn't see the other parts. So I was asking you to scroll up.
I mean, I was even already speaking. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Okay.
Getting to the point where you have read for us. Okay. So, I was telling you about Tara model, and I was saying that C is to treat the risks. And we have one of the first C that says to tolerate the risks, right? And we have another one that says to terminate the risks. So, in the spirit of that, we're talking about risk avoidance. And risk avoidance basically just means not being exposed to any risks. And the biggest risk avoidance that you can ever do is not to start the business. There are so many times that we have like business ideas that come to your head, or sometimes you even think about that this particular company, if they start doing XYZ, they'll make so much money. But trust me, there are so many ideas that have been put on their table. But because a business knows its place, he understands its place, it does not struggle to basically fit in because he's not willing to accept the level of risks that will come from that business, right? And that is like an acceptance that somebody has had to make. Now we have risk appetite. We discussed risk appetite before now, right? Did we? Is it just like you're wearing the risk appetite? No. We talk about the risk appetite being the attitude of people towards risks, right? Now, we have moved on to say that risk appetite is implemented by the board of directors. So the board is the one that will state the amount that he's willing to let open, even in a what? Even in an open transaction. Okay. So when he now puts the template or you put the benchmark account, everybody will now know to act accordingly. That okay, with this more money that I drop, is this project feasible or not? Okay. So she was asking me to scroll up. Let me just continue reading. It is easy to think of risks as something undesirable to be avoided. This attitude this attitude to risks, focuses on downside risks. It is important to recognize that risk is unavoidable in businesses and that risks must be taken in order to make profit. So the truth is that you cannot see a business that is fully risk adverse, right? Because you have to shoot for the stars, right? For you to even land on the moon. So risk is inevitable, and that's why all these people or businesses don't take it for granted. They are always setting what their template is, right? The benchmark figure, because in the end, it's all about money. They're always setting like the benchmark figure that they are willing to lose when it comes to a particular business interaction. Okay. Now, different organizations' level of appetite. I think I already said this, right? Small companies are usually willing to take bigger risks because they want to grow, right? So you see small companies, they'll be risk lovers. How many of you have seen like the way all those startups used to do? Let me give you guys a joke. So there's this thing that they used to say that all these OPay, all these micro banks, right? They will come to the market and say, we want to bank the unbanked. But a basic requirement would be your BVN and your phone number. If we are banking the unbanked, that random man in the village, does he have BVN? Phone number? I was in a partner conference, and the guy just said that what they are just doing is to rebank the banks. That they're not on bank, they're just rebanking the banks. And because like I always really think about like digital products and finance digital products, I don't know, but like every day on Instagram is one person advertising digital payment platforms to send money from home away from Nigeria. And I'm always like, why do people really rush into this particular line of business? And when I even look at the risks that's embedded, I'm just like, why is it that all these small companies, all these startups, they are willing to push in so much money? Even UBA, you will not see them making noise about how they can help you to do international transaction, you get. But you just you go and pay one influencer a lot of money to advertise payments platform. Do you get? So small businesses are usually willing to take a higher level of risks because they're believing that this is the product that will blow me. Okay. The other one is that large companies can take bigger risks than small companies when they are well diversified. Just that a lot of time, large companies, they've gotten to a point where they only take calculated risks, right? A large company most likely has like a risk manager that analyzes their risks before the company even takes it. So not like the small company that the founder is just moved with passion, is moved with vim. Abi, a large company like now, UBA cannot just wake up and say, oh, want to do road, want to go into healthcare. Before Otenewelu will stand up and say he wants to go into healthcare, trust me, people have sat down, they've deliberated, they have calculated and seen how this particular thing can work. I went to a estate, right? I think it was middle of this month. Really nice estate. And guess what? When I was not asking the owner, they were saying that it's owned by Zenith Bank. Really, really nice, like fully tarred. They have water, they have like they are building them like a mini mat inside the estate. They have like a volleyball, really, really nice estate. And they were like, the light is 24 hours, but you buy units. So there's always lights. But if you pay, like if you buy units, you have lights in your house. If you don't buy units, you will not have lights in your house, right? So they have hours of the day where they have solar, and they have like hours of the day where they have inverter, but there's always lights, but you have to just buy units. So that's good, right? And the service charge was like 35K. That's minus the rent too. So I was like, that's not bad. But now the reason why Sterling Bank can extend into having like a real estate something is because they've already taken calculated risk. So we're asking them that, okay, so when it's inverter, how is it that people, maybe somebody owning like a high electrical substance, that how is it that it does not affect it? So the girl was now saying that is they have a central control. So they have a changeover that they do, that everybody's AC will not on. You get everybody's AC will not on. So if everybody's AC is not on, the inverter will be able to carry other things in the house. You understand? So and that's good. And that's because when it comes to risk appetites, bigger companies do only calculated risks. Yes, they can take more risky actions, but they only do calculated risks. They came here again to repeat the Chara model. And they said some of the risk managers' policies described in these sessions can be seen as 4 different approaches to risk management, which can be used to identify alternative strategies. There are 4 strategies known as the TARA framework for risk management. The first one is to transfer risks. Second one is to avoid risks. This one don't even go on the venture at all. The third one is to reduce risks. So these are like risks that the probability is very high, but the impact is low. You cannot take it out of that business, but you can manage the circumstance. Then we have accepting risks. Which risks do you accept when the probability is low and the impact is also low? Do I have a class? Right, because something has to give. Do I have a class? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So now we want to talk about, let me see what they did. So they just basically read through our TARA model. I know I've explained it already in this class. This is not the first time. Last week, we even did the table. So, but somebody can just read the 4 again for us before we go to enterprise risk management. So risk transfer, just in case this is the first time somebody is hearing it.
This is the method of risk transfer, is the method of evading and transferring the risk effects to either second or third party. Example, buy insurance and transfer risk to the insurance company.
You see that example that we're giving that be about those spa and shop rights that happened in 2020. That's a practical example of a risk transfer. Okay, risk avoidance.
Risk avoidance usually means not doing something or withdrawing from an activity that creates risk. It could make sense to avoid risk if the risk is too high for the expected returns. To make entrepreneurial profits, however, some business risks have to be taken. Some business risks have to be taken.
Okay, so avoidance is, like I said, you don't even put your hand at all. But no business has risen that way. You understand? So every business, even you as a human being, this is a risk. You could have just used your Sunday, come back from church and sleep and all of that, right? But this is a risk that you're taking to entrust your 2 hours on Sundays to a class, hoping that you pass. And maybe when you now pass, you now have the dream job that you're looking for, right? But there are so many factors that are involved in the other way that this can go. But that is the acceptance of risks, right? That we were encouraging people to do. Okay? You can read assessing together.
Reducing risk. Risk can be reduced by various measures. In particular, risk of errors and frauds can be reduced by means of a sound system of internal control. Accepting risk. Accepting risk can be a sensible option if the risk is not too great and the cost of reducing or transferring the risk would not be worthwhile. Exposure to a risk may be acceptable.
So reduce, like I said, it's just the ones that you are putting in place controls. You are looking at it that, okay, this thing can be better if we watch it, right? Just like how they will talk about like all these terminal illnesses that, oh, if it has been identified on time, right? There are preventive measures. Then we have accepting risks. Accepting risks is basically taking risks, right? It's not everything that you run away from. Sometimes you just take on that risks, right? Trusting that you'll be fine when you do. Okay, so moving on. Now we have two major models in our risk management. You guys have done models now in your CSME. That's even what takes a lot of time. You have done, let's say in your CSME, in this CSME that you are doing, right? Chapter 1 to chapter 8 is your so CSME is divided into corporate strategic management, risks, ethics, and corporate governance, right? So if you go to your pack, chapter 1 to chapter 8 is corporate strategic management, and that's what you have been doing since. I think I saw Mr. Ali 2 weeks ago share the material on corporate governance. Okay, so corporate governance, if I'm correct, no, the other chapter 1 to 8, chapter 9 and 10 is risks. Okay, 9 and 10. Then chapter 11 to chapter 15 of your pack is corporate governance. Chapter 16 to chapter 20 is now ethics. Okay. So what you guys have been doing in your CSME, SWOT, PESTEL, BCG, Porter's Diamond, Product Life Cycle, you understand? All those ones are models. Do I have a class? Everybody agrees, Abby?
Yes.
So similarly, in risks, we also have two models that have been put together. The first one is the enterprise risk management, while the second one is ISO 31000, right? The first one is enterprise risk management, and the second one is what? ISO 31000. Now, this enterprise risk management, as the name implies, is like a framework, a robust framework that helps companies to like manage a risk from the beginning to the end. Now, let me explain the model to you before we even start reading. Okay, look at this diagram. Now, from the beginning of risks, I will have told you that risks is a top-bottom approach. You get, your employees cannot prioritize what they've seen, like what you have not shown them that is a priority to you. You understand? So now, stakeholders value. Now, they're trying to say that everything that we do in risks is from a point of view of the stakeholder. People that have entrusted us with money, okay, to make their investments, right, worth it. So now there are 3 stages of this enterprise risk management. There are 3 stages. The first one is the risk management vision. This is where they implement a strategy, set up a culture and a common framework. So as this name implies, this risk management vision, who will have the responsibility of doing this stage 1? Oh yeah, now who have the responsibility? Answer now. You know it. Who will have this responsibility of implementing a risk strategy, putting a risk culture, and putting a framework for risks in an organization?
The stakeholders.
No, not the stakeholder. No, stakeholders is even a wide term. Stakeholders are anybody that have interest in your business. Okay, the general public is a stakeholder. You understand? So the correct answer was what the other person said, which is the board of directors. I've said it before in this class that risk management is a board function. So it's the board of directors that will implement this, right? This is the approach. The stage 2 is the resources. They will tell you that you have to put your money where your mouth is. Imagine that somebody is trying to say that, you should be chartered. I want the one in Big Four. You know that the person that, okay, I've heard you. Oh yeah, you now can come to Networks, you come and pick form. You now went back to me the person that, okay, oh, this is the amount that, you now said that, okay, oh, this is the amount that we are spending on, this is the amount that we want to, that they say I should come and pay per course. The person now say, is well, is well. How would you look at that person? The person is basically not putting their money where their mouth is. So after the approach has been set up, right, their intentions have been known, they have to implement, they call it organizing, right? When you do the stages of implementing change, take Mr. This Ali should teach you change management. So stage of implementing change, you have the organizing. No, not even that. Is in your Johnson Schools and Washington element of strategic management, chapter 1. Now. So you have organizing, you have enabling, then you have yes. So there's one that the one I'm talking about, Sha, is enabling. You have to put your money where your mind is. So after setting up their approach, they will now move forward to a risk infrastructure. This is where they will put like a risk management leadership. Okay. They put people in that role. Second thing, they establish policies and procedure. A framework is good, but policies are more broken down, right? Such that everybody can run with a policy. Then we have specialist function. Are you bringing in a risk auditor? Like, you understand, like, who is fitting into different position? It's called the risk infrastructure. Then the second part is the risk capability. This is where you now train the people that you want to carry out this service. Okay. You do personal objectives, you do training systems, you do warning systems, right? Where everybody is simply aware of what their responsibility is when it comes to that particular management. And all these things will cost money. All this leadership training, all those systems, all those things will cost money. And that's why the stage 2 is basically resources. So stage 1 is like you put your mind to it. Stage 2, you put your resources inside. Then the stage 3 is now the implementation. And that's why I call it a top bottom approach. A lot of times people can put framework, people can put a strategy in place, and it will just hang in the air. And why is that? So people that are responsible for the implementation have not seen it as a responsibility. That's where the problem is. So that takes us to stage 3, which is what? Implementation. Now, what happens? I'll just do the subheading. So here you have a risk assessment. Okay, you are measuring you're identifying the risks and you are measuring it against the targets that you have set, and there's ownership. Everybody knows the risks that they are responsible for. Okay, now there's now treatment. Treatment is the risks have already materialized, something has already happened. What are they supposed to do? Right? And this particular thing is very important, because a lot of time when risks happens, people, because they've not been trained to manage such situation, they don't even know how to go about it. Then we have risk monitoring. Risk monitoring is controlled self-assessment. It's basically all these KPIs, right? All these routines to check that things are appropriately done. There are some organizations like this that they even have paper, right? And they'll put everybody's name and what they are supposed to do, and you're supposed to tick it that you have done it. So you can see that all those things are just risk monitoring. So think about it, that enterprise risk management is a robust framework for risk management. It is enterprise wide. Everybody in the organization has their role. Because if you look at this middle level one, this stage 2 resources, you will see that it's middle level managers. The board of director will have given it to the head of the unit, because there's risk management leadership. The specialist function you get. Then the last level are people that are doing daily operational tasks. They're the ones that will implement the last level. Do I still have a class? I think they question last night. I think we're going over past question. And because when I would ordinarily teach it, I would say it has never been tested before. But when I was going through past questions with the physical class students, I saw the question last night. So please pay attention. Especially in CSME, they are really trying to ask things that they've not asked before. Because then CSME was sweet. CSME, just don't stress yourself, go and read SWOT and PESTEL. Then go and read one part of risks, just the meaning and the categories. But in recent times, ICANN is taking their time to look deep into the pack, okay, to ask their questions. So now, somebody should read this paragraph for us. You see this thing. So very funny question, and it comes out. Okay, I'm with you. Somebody should read what is on my screen.
A framework for risk management might be applied at three.
That for me, risk. Thank you.
A risk can be defined as any event or action that might result in a failure by the company to achieve its strategic objectives, which in turn will add to shareholder value. An approach to risk management should start with an understanding of how stakeholders measure value.
Yes.
A framework,
Okay, I'm with you.
a framework for risk management might be applied at three levels or in three stages.
Okay.
One, establishing the approach to risk management and creating a risk management vision.
Okay.
Two, committing resources, that is to risk management and ensuring that an infrastructure for risk management is put in place and that the company or group has the capabilities and skills for managing risk. Then the third one, implementing risk. That is for risk assessment, the application of controls and other management system for risk and monitoring risk and the effectiveness of the risk management arrangements.
Okay, thank you. So you can see that that is just this is I thought this was under subheading. This is not talking about that one. I'm talking about I think it's in ethics. Different stakeholders are approved that they will say building a value-based organization, managing for compliance, managing for that's not it. So this one is talking about enterprise risk management, establishing approach, committing your resources, then implementing system. Okay, as the name implies here. So they now came again, start breaking it down one by one under the approaches. So they're like overall approach to risk management, overall approach to risk management. They said the overall approach to risk management should be put in place by what senior management. I think are they still going over this? Yes, so they now start breaking it down one by one. It is at this point, that's why you have the material. You can go and be reading it, right? So let's talk about risk treatments, just some few subheadings. So risk treatment is basically, I think this one, even here. Yeah, the things I explained here. But like I said, it's basically mitigating a risk. And you already know that there's residual risks. Abby, I think we have done residual risks like 2 weeks ago. Someone should define residual risks for us. What's residual risks? I've moved it down. What is residual risks?
Not cover risk, like remaining risk.
Yeah, even after all your actions have been taken to adequately reduce that. Okay, yeah, so that is what. Someone is going to tell me what is objective and subjective risk assessments. Objective and selective, objective and selective risk assessments. Hey, it was on one table like this. Somebody should tell us we have done it. Should I show you? Should I show you that we have done it? Let me go
Done
there.
what, ma?
Objective and selective risk assessment. What does it mean? This is it here. What does it mean? I even highlighted it. What does it mean? What does objective risk assessment mean? Or objective risk perception? What does it mean? It's just English. What's the difference between objective and subjective? Hello? Nobody is talking. Objective risk perception is basically when you are predicting a risk with accuracy. You are predicting a risk because of mathematical computations that has been given. So you are sure definitely you can put a figure to it that this is the extent to which we think this risk will materialize. That is objective. It is done in precise terms. While subjective risk perception is the one that is done with intuition, right? I was telling you that one of the things that they used to pride about in this accounting work is that people used to believe that they have a deep mind. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay. People used to like
you.
that's one of the part of our career, right? People that will just look at an FS and say, oh, this is what is wrong, this is what is wrong, all of that, right? That was basically subjective risk perception, where you look at the tendency of a risk materializing, maybe based on your experience on that job, how many kind of times you have done that particular thing, right? So you now use it to guide or make judgments on a particular risk. That is now subjective risk perception. Okay. Now the last part of the model, which is the if it's me now, do you know what you need to know? You shall know that there's one ash table up that is stakeholders value. Abi, there are three stages: approach, um, resources, and implementation. Just try and know what is in the box, not the three under, at least what is in the box, the subheadings first. Okay. But this one they've asked it last night. I don't know if they will ask it again. Should I help people to ask? Should I help people to call I can? But you'll be fine. Okay. The last part is risk monitoring. Risk should be monitored by managers who have responsibility for those risks. In addition, risks can be monitored at more senior levels through KPIs, performance indicator. The board should provide regularly by the board should provide regularly by manage should the board should provide like reports, right, to the management on risk management and internal control at intervals. That's the best way to monitor something. To monitor something means that you are walking them through the process. You are saying that the goal you wanted to achieve is being achieved from the beginning. Okay. Now, ISO 31000. You know, ISO 31002 is a standard. You get. It's also a standard. It's all like all these our ISAs, but ISO is very big. I think it's the National Organization for Standardization. There are different things. There are even some engineering laws that are under here. There are some food and nutrition things that are under here. It's all about the standardization of like practices such that everybody in the world is following the same level of what of activity when carrying out a particular thing. Okay. So somebody should read ISO 31000. Now wait, before you read, there are two things in ISO 31000. There's ISO 31000 theory framework. Okay. Look at that. What am I like to know? There's ISO 31000, the three elements of ISO 31000. It is here. Then we have ISO 31000 as per the 7 arrows and 40s. Where is it set? Yes, ISO 31000, 7 arrows and 40s. So you can get to your exam and what they're asking you in particular is ISO 31000, 7 arrows and 40s. There's no highlights. Okay. And you can also get to your exam hall and what they're asking you are the elements of what of ISO 31000. Either ways, please pay attention to the question, to the line, so that you can even see what they are really asking you. Okay. So somebody can read for us. I think one person has been consistently reading in this class, so she can continue. Let me confirm the name. I think it is yeah, Amechi, right? So somebody can read for us, please. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
I'm talking and nobody answers. There's no way for me to know that you guys can hear me. Okay. So you can read for us, please. Yeah. ISO 31000. I've highlighted it. The three elements we have ISO 31000, 7 arrows and 40. So if you are reading, I can't hear you.
Where should I start from? Like, okay,
The
in 2009.
huh?
Is that where I should start from? In 2009?
Oh, don't worry. I want another person to read for us. Adeyeye Adedide Gold. Adedide Gold. Yes, please, can you read for us? I've not heard your voice in today's class. And Gloria, I'm still seeing some new names Is it me or I've not seen some people in class before? Gloria, have you been in this class before?
Yes, ma. I even read last class.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I said that today. My energy, there's some, I don't know, things are just, everything is showing in like 5 places. Okay. But I know regularly. I know Ike, I know Abiodun. I know that Uche is always in class. There's Williams too. Yeah, I know Harmony. Yes. Okay. So, okay. Adeyeye, I read for us. Read this ISO 31,000. Read it too. It can come out too. We'll go and check if it came out last night. If it not come out, maybe it will come out. So read it.
Okay.
Can you
ISO 31,000 on risk management.
yes.
In 2009, can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. The International Organization for Standardization issued a standard on implementation of risk management systems. ISO 31000. ISO 31000 may be used by any organization in any industry or sector and can be applied to any type of risk. Its purpose is to promote international standardization in risk management systems. In 2010, the Institute of Risk Management, RM, in collaboration with the Association of Insurance and Risk Managers and the Public Risk Management Association, ALAM, issued a guidance on ISO 31000.
Okay.
The
So
key
there,
elements of ISO 31000 are, should I
okay.
continue? Risk architecture. This consists of the roles and responsibilities for risk management within the organization and the risk reporting structure. For example, it consists of the respective roles and responsibilities of the board, the audit committee, the group risk management committee, the risk disclosures committee, the CEO, business unit managers, individual employees, risk managers, specialist risk management functions, and internal auditors.
Okay. Thank you. So risk architecture, if you even look at it, this enterprise risk management can help you. Risk architecture is also a the top bottom approach, right? So in risk architecture, it's basically saying that what are the roles and responsibility of people within that organization, within that reporting structure. Okay, so you want to have a flow chart of the direct roles and responsibility of individuals when it comes to risks. Okay, the second one is now risk strategy. And you know this risk architecture
Yes.
now.
Strategy.
Sorry, who does the architecture plan? Is still top management. Abi, if they will not employ a risk officer and then it will
Yeah.
now be tell them what you will be doing. The management will have put in place a JD, right, for his duties, and that is what he's supposed to
Yeah.
now fill in. Okay, moving on. We have risk strategy and risk protocol. And yeah, you can continue reading.
Okay. The risk strategy of the organization should be specified, including the risk appetite of the board. There should
Yeah.
be a risk management action plan and resources to support risk management activities.
Yes. So
And
when
then the risk.
okay,
Okay.
wait, sorry, let me just explain. Anytime you hear strategy, just know that is an action plan, right? A strategy is an action plan that is being implemented if to help achieve a certain purpose or to help achieve a certain goal. Okay. Okay. We said that what it is now still the role of the organization to now put in place a strategy that will contain their risk appetite and an action plan
Yeah.
that they want, right? Such as a plan will now resources they deploy, all of that. So you can also think about this in terms of your middle level managers, because it is managers that will do this one, right? Action plan is what you want to be doing, like milestones. In 3 months, we want to be here. In 6 months, we want to be here. Okay, that is what will be in their risk strategy. To be honest, when it comes to risk management, or even in your textbooks, a lot of things are already a certain way. That's what I've been saying from the beginning. Risk management is board of director function. right? In enterprise risk management, there are 3 levels. The 3 levels, one is top management, one is middle management, one is everyday staff. You understand? It's still the same way. It's just for you to properly understand it instead of trying so hard to cram. Okay? Then the last part of our element of ISO 31000 elements is now what? Risk protocol. Okay, which first?
Risk protocols are the rules and procedures for implementing risk management and the risk management methodologies that should be applied. For example, there should be rules, procedures, and methodologies for risk assessment, risk responses, and incident reporting. The business continuity plan, an arrangement for auditing the efficiency and effectiveness of controls. ISO 31000 uses the 7R and 4T of risk management as a framework for implementation of a risk management system. The number 1R is recognition and identification of risk.
Wait,
Did I
please.
go ahead?
Let
Okay.
me explain risk protocols first. So we now said that risk protocols are now the rules and regulations for implementing risk management. So just like I said, it's down the everyday, right? These are all the okay, sorry, you can't do that here. Is our policy, Abi, is our rule, right? Or when you are in the kitchen, if let's say you are a kitchen staff in a restaurant, they're saying that when you're a kitchen staff, you can't bring in your phone to the restaurants. Okay. So those are just like those are all those things are risk protocols. They are the rules and procedures for implementing risk management and methodologies, right? So they can be rules, they can be processes. It's basically like a continuity plan for how they intend to continuously meet up with their own standard. Okay. Now, the popular one in this ISO, I don't know, I'm trying to highlight it, but I'm thinking it didn't like the scanner. Can you see what's happening? The scanner didn't pick that line. So I guess I'll just highlight this one. The popular part of this ISO 31000 is 7 arrows and 4 T's, a very sweet model. So it's called the ISO 31000. ISO 31000 7 arrows and 4. ISO 31000 7 arrows and 4 T's. So let's look at it. Okay.
One is
The first one is what's the first arrow?
the first R is mention and adaptation of risk. The second one is ranking or evaluation of risk. The third one is responding to significant risk. And the fourth is risk treatment. So under the risk treatment, we have the 4 T's.
Tolerate.
Risk treatment. Yes, tolerate, that is accept the exposure to risk. Treat, that is take measures to control or eliminate the risk totally. Then the third one, transfer. You can either transfer the risk to someone else or to another product or something. Then the fourth one, terminate. Terminate the activities that gives you rise to the risk. So moving on the 7 hours, number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 6 is resourcing control.
Reaction planning.
Reporting and monitoring risk performance. This one is already more than 7.
It's already more than 7. I tell people that they should choose. But let me just work it down with it. So we have recognition and identification of risks. So recognizing risks is like it's just like your normal risk identification. And like I told you now, you can't mitigate against the risks that you have not identified. Okay. Then ranking of risks is our normal risk assessment where we use all those risk dashboard, right? To know the risks that okay, which risks are we treating? Which risks are we tolerating? Which one are we avoiding? That tells us how to respond to the risks, okay? And then we now have our risk treatment. That's where TARA is. No, this tolerate, treat, terminate, and this tolerate, treat, transfer, terminate. Do you know it's still TARA? Where they use avoid, they use terminate, okay? Then where they use reduce, they use treats, okay? Then where they use what's the other one? Accept was tolerate.
Transfer, avoid, reduce, and accept.
So tolerate was for which one? Tolerate is to accept now. Abi? Treat is
Yeah.
to reduce.
Just accept. You reduce it.
Transfer is still transfer. Then terminate is avoid. Abi?
Avoid.
Yeah.
You know, Tara, you know your 40s already. Okay, so these are like the 40s. I know the 40s coming at the number 4. Then we have, like, now what I used to that time was I used to write resource control and reaction planning. I put it together as my number 5. Resource control and reaction plan. Resource control and reaction planning. Then I put reporting and monitoring, then review. Okay. Okay. So the 7 arrows and 40s. I think this one there was a time where this was one of ICANN's favorite asked questions. Okay. So that's it though. That's it for RICS. We have a few terminologies here. But before we even use terminology, I want us to go to the past question. Let's go to the past question. You know how we do it now. You guys will open. You open the analysis of past questions. Then you start calling the RICS. You know, I told you that CSME every day there's always a question on RICS, corporate governance, ethics, and corporate governance on CSME, on CSM, RICS, ethics, and corporate governance. So every day there will always be a question. So you can look at the analysis of action that is there and tell me the questions that are for the diet. Let's start from the most recent diet. Let's start from the most recent diet. The most recent diet, I can already see a question on enterprise risk management. Can you see? So who's opening it for us? You push. You know what I mean, Abby? Hello? You know how to use the question charts, right? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, but nobody is answering me. Do you know how to use the question charts?
No.
But we've been using this question chart more than once in this class now. I'm going there again. I'm going there again. I forwarded it the last time. I'll just highlight it. Okay, have I not shared it here? Sorry, let me share it here. I think I'm even doing it just to confirm. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what you do. I told you chapter 9 and 10 is RICS. So you zoom it in, identifying and controlling risks. Okay. So I told you now, you can see it is in every diet, 9 and 10. Okay. Do you see how to use it now? So it just means that in November 2022, question 2 was on risks. In May 2022, question 5 and question 2 were on risks. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Okay, so I would open the past question here. So you tell me where the question is you get, so I can go there. So I can see May 2023. Yeah, which diet are we saying? This is already May 2024. Let me confirm what this diet is. So this diet is May 2023. I can see that question 7 was on risk management. Let's go there. Question 7 was on risk management. Okay. Question 7. Let me go there. Comment. Okay. So they said advise. There was a case study. Then they said advise the management of BAM PLC on the enterprise and operational risks that could possibly be associated with 5G spectrum. So this one, now they gave them questions. They gave them a case study. Now, the thing with this question is that they separated the risks into two: enterprise risks and operational risks. So the best way to answer this question is to list out enterprise risk. What enterprise risk? Enterprise risk is like strategy risks, risks that affect the whole organization, that can affect the organization from achieving its objective. Why operational risks are risks that come from your day-to-day activities. Okay. Now the second one was now suggest to BAM technologies the key element that should be contained in the company's enterprise risk management system. Okay. And this was where they now started to use enterprise risk management, like top-bottom approach. Okay. The risks, the approach, the resources, and then the implementation. Okay. So I think that was all about risks for this diet. Oh, see these questions too. Oh, yeah. Somebody should read this one. Question 2. Can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every business venture has some measure of risk exposure that must be identified, measured, and adequately prepared for. Indeed, each business entity should have in place a good risk management strategy. As a risk manager, clarify the following in ways that will be comprehensible to a green on in business. A, risk identification. B, importance of ranking risk. C, example, examine the impact of risk on categories of stakeholders.
Okay. So what's risk identification? Is this a simple question? Let me first ask. Is this question simple? I beg you now. When I ask questions, stop keeping quiet. Should I not treat the past question with you anymore? This is not going to work.
Yes, it
Somehow,
looks
ma.
simple. Yes, yes. Even though I don't know.
Step in your risk assessment, Abby. It is the
Yes.
first in your risk management where you identify or you check the exposure of that organization.
Hello. I've lost her again.
I lost the class for a bit. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. We can
Were you hearing me when I was asking if you could hear me?
Not at all.
Okay, I don't know. It just wrote connection, something. And my network is good, though, I'm sorry. Okay, so I was talking about ranking rigs that you're just supposed to use your risk dashboard. And then I was asking that your risk dashboard, you remember that one that I said that looks like street lights now, Abby? Red,
Yes, ma'am.
red, amber, and what? Amber green. Do you remember? Red
Yes,
is for
ma'am.
Yes.
Stop.
top. Is it top? Did I say top? When did I say that?
Stop.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Red is
Red
for
means
high risks, Abby. Amber is for
oh,
moderate. It's for low. Okay. I'm still doing one diet. Okay, let's go to November 2022. Oh, yeah, call the questions, the diets that day. I think it was question 2. Let's just go there. This one too looks very direct. What did they ask them? They said identify the categories of risks which the company will be exposed to. What are our normal categories of risks? Oh yeah, you can chorus it. There are plenty. See that the mark is 12 marks. What are our
market risk,
categories of risks? Okay.
in finance, business risk,
So Julian.
liquidity.
Why are people quiet? I listed over 11 types of risks. Why are you quiet? Why are we quiet? We have market, we have financial, we have business probity, we have medical, we have strategy risks, financial risks. You have forgotten. You have to read too. We have not even reached anywhere. They see the big question. Advise the management of ABC on the ways of embedding risk awareness in a firm. Didn't we do embedding risks? So how should they embed? Develop a risk reporting framework. Abi, bad news should always be shared. Reducing blame culture. Hey, see people that just thoughts. It is well, oh, you shall see that the question is not from heaven. The questions are things that you have done in this class. Okay. So you can move to the next diet. I think that's May 2022. It was 2 questions in that diet. What and what? What and what, though? In May 2022. I can see question 2 already. Maybe it's question 2 and 5. Since nobody is answering me. Question 2 and 5. Yeah, question 2 and 5. So let's look at the questions. Question 2, they've asked them. Question 2. I see question 5. Very simple. Just explain the following terms: risk diversification, risk transfer, risk sharing, risk hedging, risk avoidance. Is it difficult?
No, ma'am.
Instead, explain to your friend why risk diversification is the best option for him. It's because it enables you to spread your risks and becomes bad and some becomes good. In the end, you're able to get an expected return. Okay. Then we have B, what is risk appetite? Then explain 3 factors that could determine the appetite of a company. Okay. This is actually a very direct question. Then let's go to question 2. They say you should explain the meaning of a lap. What does it mean? What does it mean for something to be a lap? As low as what? As low as what? I'm asking you guys, though. ALAP is an acronym now. So what does ALAP mean?
I remember.
You can't remember. as low as reasonably practicable. As low as reasonably practicable. Then they said, advise the company on the need for a risk manager. So you're going to tell them the function of a risk manager and the roles of a risk manager. Then they said, enumerate the roles of a risk manager. You know, it's similar to your categories of risks, but a risk manager does some specific risks that is not in the normal categories. Then they said, what is a risk audit? Confirm if they should engage internal or external auditors to conduct a risk audit. Say you should justify your position. Then illustrate to management of the company the stages involved in a risk audit. The stages involved in a risk audit is identification, assessments, review, and reports. While the stages in risk management is identification, assessment, response, monitoring, and control. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, so I don't know, do we have any questions, or should we still take another diet? Do you have any questions, or should we take one more diet? Can you guys answer? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we don't have any question. So we're probably waiting for others to answer too.
Okay. Esther. Okay. Sorry. So can you see this in the next diet? See question 5. Question 5. Let me check question 2. I think they have a collabo with 2 of them. Question 2. You see, question 5 and question 2 was rigged. So let's go there. Just do this one. This will be the last one we'll do. Okay, question 5. They said, explain the following. The first one, what is risk management? Question 2, the process of a risk map. What is risk mapping? That is the Yotara model, Abi, that you use to draw your different types of risk. They said, evaluate the roles of the following people when it comes to risk management. Board of directors. Board of directors are the ones that are directly responsible for risk management. Why? Risk committee makes recommendation to the board on risks, but they don't make decision to the board when it comes to risk management. Okay. So question 2, they said they should describe the role of a risk committee. Hey, another 8 marks. Then they said the elements of ISO 31. Hey, look at this question. The elements of ISO 31000, including the 7 R's and 40's of an enterprise risk management system. Can you see how color this question is? In this question, you're supposed to list out the element of enterprise risk management. Those are those 3, Abi. Risk architecture, risk protocol, and risk, what's the last one? Strategy, Abi. Then you still list 7 R's and 40's. It's a 12-mark question. If you even look at it, it's even confusing. The stance said of implementing an enterprise risk-wide management system. So it depends on the time you have, right? So you can even just talk about your enterprise risk management small. Okay, that's normal enterprise risk management, normal model on enterprise risk management. So the truth is that risks, I always tell people that, to me, is something you can hold on to. You know that you will get a 20 marks question and you will get a 15 marks question on risks. That's already 35 marks. So if you can hold on to 35 marks before entering into the exam hall, is it not wise to know it? It is wise to know. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if I have any question now. People say you don't have question for me. So let me not even bother. So thank you very much. Next week, by God's grace, we'll start our class on ethics. Okay? Start our class on ethics. These are the 2 parts I'm taking. I'm taking about 80-something% of ethics. So that's what we'll start next week. Please don't pile up what you need to know, what you need to read. Okay? Don't pile it up. Okay? So thank you very much. that will be all from my end. Do enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.